If you follow the brook all the way around the third bend, you'll eventually step into the shadow of an overpass. And as the water sweeps over and around debris of silt and soil, you'll notice half a cog reaching from a speckled block of cement. The metal teeth have rusted into smooth planes. A piece of debris during the last riverine flood has cracked a strange welt in the rust skin, revealing not hollow alloys within, but clumps of grass, sticky with mold. Only after a few months of prodding and research can I reliably estimate the purpose of this forgotten gear of some machine once had. A footbridge fords the brook half a kilometre upstream. Two cement pylons the diameter of a car wheel sink into either side of the bank. The railings along each length of the bridge are connected to the base by a trio of hinges designed to give way and lay flat when pressed by great force. Namely, when the brook floods during heavy rainfall. At some point the council had experimented with using a winch and pulley system to draw back the bridge, a kind of hand-cranked retractable footbridge. This appears to have never progressed past a prototype being half-finished and abandoned, replaced by sturdy cement and the rather clever hinged railings. When Con writes about this phenomenon, they describe these failed machines as aborted ideas, bad drafts of a future tossed away without any particular consideration. But as Cowan lays out, the sensation of careless disposal is a result of the systems that discard these machines being so large and so abstract, and so often made at several levels of abstraction above the physical reality of the object itself, that making reliable sense of an outcome is difficult without tracing years and years of history. I've been working hard on my Walking Dead book and have been attempting to write my way into a discussion of Rick's departure from the story. Rick ultimately sacrifices himself to keep a bridge he has built from being destroyed. The bridge represents expansion and security for his peoples, a permanent, safe freeway to other critical settlements. Each morning when I walk past the little cement footbridge, I find the sequence revolving in my mind. Being speculative fiction, The Walking Dead is tasked with deciding what infrastructure exists, what used to exist, and what characters deem worth rebuilding or preserving. While obvious, Rick's bridge is the rare occasion in the show that the foundations of a previous piece of infrastructure are restored. Not built atop, not adapted into new usage, but just restored. Rick simply wants to rebuild the bridge that, at one time, had crossed the river. Rick is pushing his crew too hard. A lack of food and water put the delivery of the bridge at risk before the weather grows bad again. But they complete the bridge, ultimately at the cost of a survivor being thrown out of camp for their behavior. It's strange. Such a comprehensively absurd fictional universe has the capacity to collapse the aperture onto something so simple and real as a bridge, and how to make the crossing reliable and weatherproof. The illusion of the spectacular with the mundane obstacles and outputs of technological determinism. We have a body of water and we need to build a dam bridge that will last the weather. The very same problem those who lived by the brook contended with every few years without any reliable solution. Reading accounts of the brook flooding before my grandmother was born is eerie and comforting. At around 1 AM there were approximately 6 feet of water at the intersection, says a married couple. Or a local Joyce describes the water as shady and cool, and fishing by hand, taking eels and yabbies home to cook it and eat it. Both feel of a piece with how we speak about the brook each time the waters rise, or the way the locals talk about their relationship to the brook. I wonder the names of those well-paid and well-educated figures tasked with experimenting and iterating this bridge until they had landed on the correct alternative machine, unfettered by their conditions enough to produce the small marvel their flood-proof bridge. Perhaps this is where the criticism of Marx's theory of material history feeling trivial can be located, that it is somehow self-evident that all material objects are conditions of the modes of production of their time and place. But as we see in even the simplest examples of the history of any given machine, while the observation may be trivial, the systems that produce the dominant machine are varied and complex. So too the bridge is varied and complex, yet trivial. Even the little cement footbridge with the lashing railings. Simple, trivial, and perfect in its own small way. The antagonist is me, DC McNeill. Additional information and sources can be found at zeroindent.com. We are produced by Zero Indent. You can support us at patreon.com/zeroindent. This week I finally stopped and sat under the overpass and just watched the water move by for half an hour. There's something eerie about watching water move in that way, isn't there?